We got a new $40 million scandal brewing. That's how much Jeff Bezos' Amazon streaming service is paying the Trump family and Melania Trump for her documentary. I reported on this earlier, but look at the size of the numbers. This in the wake of new reporting that a Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist, political cartoonist for the Washington Post has quit. Ann Telness has quit in protest because she drew a cartoon showing Jeff Bezos as the supplicant that he is, trying to kiss the backside and give money to Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, along with other tech giants. He didn't like it, and he had the cartoon killed. Democracy certainly does die in the darkness. Let's get back to it. I'm Michael Popak. You're on the Midas Touch Network and in Legal AF. Now, I've done a lot of reporting that nobody should be surprised that Jeff Bezos is currying favor and is trying to become a favorite son of Donald Trump. He went out of his way during the all-important critical moment where every endorsement mattered to Kamala Harris, and he killed an already penned endorsement, an editorial endorsement of the Washington Post. He reached in and killed it so it couldn't be published. He's also, as we know, one of the best friends of Ivanka and Jared Kushner. They party together. They socialize together. They go to Aspen together. They've been on the yacht together. They live next door to each other in Indian Creek, in Florida, in Miami. And so that is one aspect of the self-interest of Jeff Bezos. He also earns hundreds of millions of dollars a year in government contracts in providing computing and cloud services through Amazon to the government. Doesn't want to jeopardize that. And then to make up for his prior interactions with Donald Trump that were not positive, he just dangled a $40 million bag of money in front of Melania. I mean, effectively he just gave, let's just call it for what it is. He just gave $40 million to the president of the United States incoming in order to avoid him being the subject of criticism and attacks and effectively Trump terrorism during the next 4 years, and to make sure that he continues to have for his shareholders and to line his own pockets government contracts. That's what we're watching. We can't call it anything else but that. And the fact that he is, this is the reason we fired the Washington Post as an advertiser and a sponsor on Midas Touch and on Legal AF. Because if they were going to allow the publisher, the owner, to reach in and snatch out of the typewriter the already written endorsement of Kamala Harris, and now the reporting is based on Ann Telness, a Pulitzer Prize winning political cartoonist, and she quit in protest because her cartoon, we're going to put up a picture of it here, her cartoon that never ran there showed Jeff Bezos in a negative light. And the reason that she was told that they were killing it, because they couldn't come right out and say they were abridging her First Amendment rights and the freedom of the press. So they said, well, we had a very similar political cartoon, that we're running and we already ran. And so we don't need this one criticizing our owner. Is that what happened? Or did Jeff Bezos once again Bigfoot the editorial side of the house at a newspaper and kill the political cartoon? I think that's a rhetorical question. We all know what's happened here. You've got the tech giants who are all quaking in their boots against Donald Trump in the next 4 years. And so rather than take a stand and lean forward, not back, to try to protect democracy, they've showed how malleable their character and value really is. And now you've got, the same week we hear about Jeff Bezos giving Donald Trump $40 million apparently as an apology sack of money. You've got Zuckerberg declaring that ended in a transaction from Bezos almost directly to Donald Trump is an affront to everything we hold dear in our society. I mean, if we ever get back in control of Congress, the Democrats, come the midterm elections, I want to pass a law that corporate media is not a proper steward for our free press, and they should be denied the ability to own news outlets. There's no other way to put it. Unless there's a giant warning disclaimer, like on the cigarette package, that This news media outlet is owned by corporate giants who care only about shareholders and will sacrifice the freedom of the press in order to satisfy the sitting president. That should be a warning label that runs as a banner below every corporate media outlet and newspaper. But they're not going to do that. So I want the law. That's my law. I want a law that says ABC can't be owned by Disney, and rich billionaires and trillionaires can't own newspapers and media outlets or social media platforms. Like, get your hands out of my First Amendment and freedom of the press. But we're going to keep reporting on, things like the $40 million bribe just paid in order for the Trump administration and Donald Trump in particular and Elon Musk, his henchman, not to bash Bezos again. I mean, Bezos already got bashed the first time around in the first administration, and he doesn't want to do it again. He wants to sail around on the world's biggest yacht with his trophy girlfriend and bring in and be the first trillionaire with a T that we've ever had and get more government contracts under Musk and others than he had before. That's where his head is at. Where my head is at is proper reporting, commentary and analysis, independent on the Midas Touch Network on Illegal AF. And that might piss off a lot of people. I woke up to some crazy person, but crazy is putting it, a MAGA person, a Trump supporter who decided they were going to attack me and my family in the middle of the night and leave a text message and a voicemail message. And while they were at it, say disgusting and depraved things about those on the Midas Touch team that are suffering the ill effects of the Pacific Palisades and Los Angeles fires. Like, I'm glad Ben Meiselas' house might burn down. He deserves it. And I've seen things in commentary about the Democrats are soulless. We're soulless. You see us doing that? We're just trying to bring people to justice who commit crimes. Right? If you don't want to serve the time, don't commit the crime. That's easy. I learned that in, first grade. Right? Hall room monitors. I learned right and wrong early on from my parents. I think that was missed in some places. I'm going to keep calling it out every day, every way on the Midas Touch Network and on Legal AF. Join us for the original, the OG podcast at the intersection of law and politics. Legal AF, 5 years, going strong, top 8 in the world. Hard to believe. All your help. We're all people powered. Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I got a new show called Popak Live.
But not the Fred out of boy. Bush greeted his successor, Obama, with a manly belly tap. Obama got what his fellow presidents might consider the short straw. He spawned next to Trump, but he did not take refuge in conservation with former First Lady Laura Bush to his right. He was soon smiling, Berkeley so chatted with incoming president, whom he campaigned vigorously against last fall. Obama is a gracious man, and people who have some spent time with Trump say that despite his public despite he entertaining is funny in private, so maybe they just joking it up. But story and open public discipline made the interaction one of the most extraordinary moments in Western political age. After all, Trump rose to power with a recipient and fall